How about now? Check, checkity check. Blackie Chan 888 is here. Sorry you can't hear us. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. Like I said, technical difficulties all week with my setup. Not quite sure why. I got to do some troubleshooting this weekend. I did some before the show, just to let you know. You can hear me now. All right. What a bore. But anyway, thanks for being here. Appreciate everybody. Trying to do the damn thing. But anyway, this is our weekly rock and metal news show. 2.5 minutes gone by. I hope everybody had a safe and pleasant 4th. I'm there's a couple of things on my mind I'm just gonna spout off at the top here, and that is, I don't feel too great. Hey, Serpent Conjuration is also here. Just started the show on a Friday night here in San Francisco, and the holidays make me pensive. They make me think. I don't know how I feel right now. It's a tough time to be an American. People are suffering all over the world. A lot of struggles are going on, but it's a strange time here in the country, and I don't know how I feel. There's a dereliction of duty going on in the highest courts. Seems like everywhere you go, politicians are corrupt left and right. Just really sucks. You want to believe in your leaders and trust them, but it's really hard. And then there's like a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of gatekeepery stuff going on. And I think gatekeeper, friends don't let friends listen to bad music, which is always a thing. Like, there's universally shitty music. There's shitty music on purpose for the sake of being shitty. And, but, I don't like the idea that some people are starting to put forward that rock and metal and punk and these other genres are not inclusive. This music's for everybody. Nobody is better than anybody else. I like black metal and fuck you pop punk bitches. Maybe. And that works for your life, but it doesn't work for me. And it doesn't work for us. We have a very inclusive community. Metal was the original. Honestly, I know hippies in America are, sort of synonymous with the counterculture, but they didn't really do much. Hippies are the boomers. They became the boomers. They became the Walmarts, and they became the corporation kings. And to keep it really real, this is a music. If you're into this heavy underground music, it's for everybody. And yes, there is stuff that you don't like. That's not your taste, but it's not your place to keep anybody out based on what they like or who they are or who they love or what their gender is or race or any of that shit. We don't accept homophobes, racists, fascists. I don't give a fuck. You can turn this shit off right now if you don't like it. That's how we've been from the beginning. And we have people in our staff of all political beliefs and walks of life, and everybody accepts everybody. Brooklyn Miss is on TikTok. Hi, Brooklyn Miss. Good to see you. Happy holidays. I hope your holidays were fun and peaceful. I'm just ranting to start this week. I'm just, conflicted about being an American, and I'm seeing a lot of bullshit online about like metal doesn't belong to certain people and rock doesn't belong to certain people and punk. I've been hearing this shit my whole life about who is accepted in the club. If you're in this club, if you're with us watching this, you're welcome. Everybody's welcome. Contribute. If you became a fan of metal yesterday, cool, come on. If something made you jump off the bus, let us know why. I understand too. And again, if you don't like that, you can bounce. I don't care. We've been here for 12 years almost. I've been a metalhead. I've been into heavy music since I'm 3 years old. And I'm going to be 52 in September, and I don't give a fuck. If you got hate in your heart, keep it to yourself. Don't let it out. We all have our shit, we all have we come in with our prejudices. We come into the world. We're nurtured by society and our families and things. You don't have to be a victim, and you don't have to be a product of what your environment was. You can be who you are and forge a new path. And heavy music helps me do that. So yeah, thank you so much, Brooklyn Miss, for your support. Blackie Chan, Serpent Conjuration, and all the people. Again, late on a holiday weekend, Friday, for everybody else in the world except the West Coast here in California. I took yesterday mostly off to just relax. Saw some friends, ate some good food, saw some fireworks here in San Francisco. Fog rolls in. It's kind of, unless you're right and under it, it's hard to see stuff on the horizon because the fog comes in, from west to east here and kind of clouds things. And also because the city is so hilly, we don't get the full spectacle of some other flatter cities. But anyhow, I've had a good time. I'm doing reasonably pretty well. As always, while I'm blathering on, feel free to drop a comment. People give us a super thanks or a super like on YouTube or some kind of donation. I'll get to your questions first, but probably I'll answer everybody's questions because I'm cool like that. But join the conversation. This is your show as much as it's my show. I don't do co-hosts unless it's on purpose and somebody's here with me. But if you want to chime in and conversate, I'm open to it. I'm not one of these people. It's like I'm the only point of view that matters. I just spouted off a whole bunch of stuff there, but I think that's the right way to live. But at the same time, if you got a valid counterpoint to anything we're going to talk about, I'll listen. And if you can articulate your point of view, I will listen to you because that's kind of how I do. That's how I do. I actually listen. I know that I don't know everything. I just talk the most. Blackie Chan just came home from Doomfest in Stoner Doom Metal Festival. That sounds amazing. Let us know who played. I think I had sort of talked about that a while back, several months ago. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we want to hear, Blackie Chan. We want to hear that you feel safe. We want to hear that you feel seen. And I'm just kind of burnt out on this gatekeepering, arms crossed bullshit that has no room for us here. It's not what literally metalheads. We were not hippies. We were not Hell's Angels. Yes, bikers liked heavy metal and Born to Be Wild and Heavy Metal Thunder. But yeah, seriously, Midnight Whiskey is here. Midnight Whiskey Massacre. Yeah, just absolutely. We really were the underground. We really were the innovators, the voice of the disenfranchised. Hippies had a great idea: free sex, free love, peace. Great, sounds all great on paper. It's not based in reality, and those people ended up becoming warmongers and whores and corporate fuckfaces. Like, honestly, look at I'm sorry for your parents and your grandparents who were boomers. Mostly a do nothing, they like to do drugs and fuck, and they didn't do much. We made changes. I love the speech in SLC Punk. I was just in Salt Lake City a month ago, and yeah, the speech that Shooter McGavin gives Scooby-Doo's Matthew Lillard there, Steve-O. We got behind some causes and we changed the world and we ended that damn war in Vietnam. Actually, they didn't do anything. They didn't do any of those things. They really didn't make a change that they thought they did. Just metalheads, punks, we actually changed the world. We actually have a voice today still. And, Tom Morello, it's not in the news here, but Tom Morello's got a debut rock solo album coming out. And he talked about like metalheads specifically need to pick up the baton and carry it forward and be more political and be more active. So, that's what's in my mind on this, a revolution based on a war against fascism. I don't know if you Love America, you're supposed to hate fascism, not love fascism. But okay, I'm going to stop the soapbox now before I lose any more viewers. But also, if, you don't like it, that's cool too. And let's do the show. Let's do the goddamn show. Let's do the thing. Oh, that's the right view. Here we go. Big me, little deck. Everywhere except TikTok, you're getting the benefit of a slide deck that I've curated that helps us sort of discuss the thing. I've been watching a lot of Star Wars, as I customarily do to start every summer. The Acolyte has been amazing. I know people don't like it, not sure why. And I got Force Ghost Keefy there. And you'll be seeing this is the color scheme for July. It's a little aquamarine for summer. And a little Force Ghost Keefy action. I have fun with these graphics. Oh man, I'm gonna go back, Blackie Chan, and check out this band, Blackie Chan and Midnight Whiskey Massacre. El Altar del Holocausto, white robes. Yeah, I got it. White robes. Yeah, got you. White robes are not always a good thing. Sometimes. I did see Sun one time come out in all white robes, and I was like, okay, I'm not sure what's going on. And I just saw Vorath on tour with Gorgatron and Casket Robbery. That tour is running for a few more weeks. And Vorath has cool masks also. They wear like very cool. Kind of reminds me of Smash Into Pieces a little bit, with like light up eyes and weird nodes all over the place. But anyway, let's get down to it. It is the Weekly Ritual, the rock and metal news show. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for being here. We are almost, this is kind of huge, we're almost to 5,000 subs. We'll talk about this. Yeah, so this is actually from a few weeks ago. We are 7,000 views away on YouTube from 1 million views. We've really only had this channel for 8 or 9 years. In our 12 years of existence, we have really only gone hardcore on video content the last 4 years. So thank you to everybody that is watching, that has watched, that will watch. Thank you. And we are 36, 34 subs on YouTube away from 5,000, which is a pretty big milestone for us. So we appreciate you. Come check it out. What is up, Scooter75 or 0075? What up, Scooter? Hanging in there. I had some technical difficulties to start. It's been a technical difficulties week. But I'm really good. I had a great holiday. Like I said, the holidays make me reflexive and pensive and thinking about and reflective about the current state of the world and things. And like I said, I want everybody to know that we are a place for everybody. Ghost Cult is for everybody. I don't care where you came from. I don't care how long you've been a fan. I don't care if I'm old, so I saw all the cool bands, but that doesn't matter to me. If you came along yesterday and you discovered Bad Omens and suddenly you heard heavy guitars and that shit changed your life, I want to meet you. I want to talk to you. I want to hear what you like. I want to turn you on to some cool music. I don't care when you got in. We're like AA. We'll take you in all conditions at any time. What's up, Lesser Magic? T-Bone. Brooklyn Miss, of course. TikTok's weird because sometimes you get like all the reacts, and sometimes you get to say hi back to people with a little button push, and sometimes you oh, no worries, Blackie Chan, you're an everydayer. Listen, if you show up on Instagram, and Instagram's a platform you see us on and you like, thank you. And if you can join us on YouTube, cool. Our full interviews are on YouTube. A lot of special content. A little birdie told me the Sonic Journey documentary series might be coming back. Mini documentaries, mini discography histories. I've been doing some live reviews. I might review the No Values Fest. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll see what people think. Don't worry about it. Again, I'm grateful. Stephanie is here. Hey, Stephanie Montoya. If you're here, I appreciate you. But yeah, if you could help us out, we're almost to 5,000 subs on YouTube. And like I said, I considered sending a little mystery pack, a prize pack to people who have subbed on YouTube when we get to 5,000, because it's worth celebrating. But anyway, so yeah, technically this image is wrong. This graphic, we are 7,000 plus away from 1 million views on YouTube. It's no small feat. We've done thousands of these interviews. I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people, and probably thousands in my whole career. But at Ghost Cult, it's definitely many hundreds. So yeah, July 5th, I took yesterday off. Here's the announcements. Just a little check-in about me. If you're looking at this, is how it started and how it's going. The picture on your left is me in my band Grunt 25 years ago at the Spiral, the long defunct rock club in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I am wearing a Notre Dame jersey. I'm playing bass. I look wild. That's when I had long, beautiful hair, and I was probably about 100 pounds heavier than I am right now, if not more. And this is about a year ago, but this is, I am a resident of, as of the 3rd, I am a resident of San Francisco for 3 years, and I've lived in California for 3.5. So pretty great for me. I've been, I've had some problems early in the year with my health, but I've been pretty happy lately. I went to Pride on Saturday, by the way, here in San Francisco, had a baller time. Billy Porter was the Grand Marshal and the head Grand Marshal and the headliner. Gengars is here. Hello, Rebecca. Shoot me an email and let me know when you're ready to get back in the game. We got a lot of shows coming up and tours. But this is our weekly rock and metal news show. But I'm doing pretty good. I'm in a good mood. I went to Pride. I had some 4th of July festivities. I ate some barbecued food. I hung out with some great people. Saw some fireworks. Had a bevy. Allowed myself one little alcoholic drink. And I'm feeling all right. Heading into this summer, the unofficial start of summer is usually Memorial Day, then solstice, and then July 4th. You know, it's a sprint to Memorial Day. So I'm looking to have some fun. I'm still drinking my first coffee of the day, but I do have a seltzer here. But I'm good. Let me know how you're all doing out there. I hope everyone's okay. We are still supporting the GoFundMe for Sonia Ramos, who is battling stage 4 cancer. At this point, we're just trying to support Sonia at Sonia Shredder on Instagram. Sonia's a guitar luthier in the Florida metal scene, and we're just trying to help any way we can. Also, on the unfortunate and fuck cancer front, this is Lou from Sick of It All. We've been talking about him the last couple of weeks. He revealed in a social media post that he is battling esophageal cancer, and Sick of It All has canceled all their shows for the foreseeable future for the rest of 24. He expects to make a recovery, and he expects to make a full recovery and be back in 2025. There is a GoFundMe launched by Pete Keller. I can't tell you how many amazing interactions I've had with hardcore punk people, especially Sick of It All. Always been really cool and nice to me. And, AF, Sick of It All, Cro-Mags in their different forms, Madball, these are, Judge, Gorilla Biscuits. These are some of the most important music and music makers to me. Lou is a great person, and we hope he gets well soon. And like I said, fuck cancer. His GoFundMe has done very well, but medical fees add up. I don't know what the insurance plan is for a professional musician that's 50-something years old. So if you can donate something to Sonia or Lou, as much as we would like a donation for Ghost Cult, if you can donate something to Lou, that would be amazing. Or Sonia, both fighting, for their lives. So thank you. Also, on a good news tip, or no, not a good news tip. Here's another. There was some passings this week in the world. Not a good news tip. Orlando Cepeda, a legendary San Francisco Giants player here in my backyard, just days after Willie Mays died. 2 legends gone. It's very sad. Some other people passed away this week too. I'm trying to dwell on the positive, but we always try to shout out somebody that's passed on, maybe raise your awareness. Orlando Cepeda was also huge in the community here in San Francisco. Well before I lived here, I was aware of his charitable works. And, just rest in peace. We're losing our heroes, and heroes of a certain age are starting to slip away. So definitely, when I say it comes to bands and artists, go see your heroes. My co-host on the Glacially Musical podcast, Nick, just saw Rolling Stones in Chicago, and he was like, listen, it's not the Rolling Stones at the peak in the 60s or 70s or even early 80s, but I got to see the Rolling Stones. That was his take. It's not for everybody, it's not for everybody. Gigi/V is here on TikTok. Lesser Magic, not much. Like I said, doing pretty good. I hope you're well out there where y'all are. Once again, on a positive, here's the good news tip. We are trying to raise awareness to get my favorite pupper in San Francisco, Django, knighted by the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. This is Django, who is a huge metalhead in Django's battle vest with Necro Butcher of Mayhem. We have an interview. I should share that at some point here. Maybe I'll link it in the description on YouTube. After the Necro Butcher, we did literally the same day as he did, like, I was going to kill Euronymous 2. That same day, literally like 20 minutes before that quote came out of him for somebody else, not us. We interviewed him also. But Django, we're trying to get signatures, nothing to donate or pay. The link is in our description. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Django is up to 173 signatures of the first goal of 200. We are trying to get him sainthood from the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Django is a huge deal here in San Francisco, a huge supporter of underserved communities, of marginalized peoples, an uplifter of spirits everywhere. Django goes. moving right along. I meant to do this on the 4th of July or before, but just to let you know, if fireworks are still a thing where you live, they're all summer long here in California sometimes. Maybe not to the 4th of July level, but if you've got a pet, if you've got a dog, especially dogs and cats do not do well with fireworks on the 4th of July. I was surprised to see some people with their like baby toy dogs with them watching the fireworks, and I made like where I was a little quieter, so that the fireworks were in the distance and they weren't happening right on top of us. But I still was like, this can't be good for these dogs, man. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, so it's wild. But here's some tips given to me by my friend Barry Ann of Fiat Productions, great record label. Underground metal, black metal, death metal, doom metal, cassettes mainly, but also great digital releases and comps. We're a big fan and a big supporter of them. And she shared that with me. So if you got pups, you can freeze this and screen capture it for some advice on what to do for them when you're anticipating some fireworks. And just a reminder, we have a newsletter that goes out every weekend. Our competitors bone you with their newsletters every single day with cluttering up your inbox. I don't think people read them every day. I think we send one a week. It has this show. It has a link to our new music out this week, which we'll get to later in the show. It has the top stories and our big interviews, whatever you want, in a digest form sent to you. No social media bullshit. Not having, I agree you're on social media right this minute watching me, but maybe you'd appreciate a newsletter. We're on all the socials, as you know, all the things. Thanks for being here. If you're here on any of the socials, I appreciate you. Looks like people are mostly here on X, TikTok, and Instagram. Thank you so much for being here. And, we're trying to get those numbers up. And tell us what kind of content you want to see. Mostly on our YouTube is interviews, and our other socials get like little clips of those interviews that help promote them. But let us know what kind of stuff you want to see from us. It's always interesting to see. We're also on Discord if you're interested. I kind of gave up on Reddit a little bit right now. They banned our Reddit. I kind of didn't understand why they banned our Reddit. It was ours, just a feed of our things. And they were like, no, you cannot have it. They sent me a pretty threatening note, too. It was like, don't try to come back. I was like, damn. Well, there's Reddit. Features this week, it goes cold. Let's ram through this. Just a reminder, Slipknot's debut album came out 25 years ago last week, and I penned up a quick feature on it. We have a history of supporting different anniversaries of this record. The 20th, we wrote a big lengthy feature also. And the band is coming on tour. The band is doing a bunch of Not Fests. They'll be honoring this record. And if I'm not mistaken, also Iowa and some other things are coming up. So pretty cool. They're supporting all their things. Volume 3, Iowa, debut album, that first era of the band. And then just the one interview this week on the Tube of You, we interviewed Steve Colca of Destroyer of Light. Destroyer of Light has put out their recent awesome album, Degradation Times, and it is the final album from the band. Members of the bands are going into new directions, launched new bands. But Steve, having been around a long time, kind of doomy, shoegaze, doomgaze band, we do have a Discord. It's linked in the description on YouTube, and I think in our linktree, Brooklyn Miss. But yeah, they screwed our Discord. Saucy the drummer is also shown up. Maiden Fan 7963, Ghost Hunter guys. Nice to see you all. Thanks for being here. Appreciate everybody that's kind of stopping by. Diego has joined our rock and metal news show. But yeah, we interviewed Steve from Destroyer Light. They are breaking up, but go check out that final album. Costs money to make an album. It takes guts to say we're breaking up after putting out an album or before. So definitely check that out. Just a reminder, last week we interviewed Yosuke from Helios Press, also the owner of Nuclear War Now. And he has launched a vinyl printing press that is going to open soon in Austin, Texas. He's doing an internal fundraiser at his store to raise money to launch this thing. He actually learned hands-on how to do this. He's hired a full staff. He's invested in that community. right outside of Austin. So pretty damn cool. And really interesting guy, and has some great bands on his label. And really, we need more small businesses to take an interest in the music industry, as you will see later in the show. You will see. Our Discord is mostly less, I'll be honest, it's like a feed of all our stuff. Not everybody likes to go to websites. Not everybody likes to follow on social media to get stories. And some people see stuff only when their friends share it. So, I feel like the Discord is a cool way to just get a funnel, a centrifuge of all our best stuff. Anywho, just a reminder, we also have the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast. There'll be some more episodes dropping this weekend. I'm recording another one tomorrow, the monthly Power Hour, where we recap the June releases and preview the July ones. Obviously, we just had the first Music Friday of the month, but we get to these podcasts when we can. We got some more staff highlights coming up, highlight episodes, other exclusive interviews. Got an exclusive interview coming up with Full of Hell on Monday. That's just going to be on our podcast and not on YouTube, except YouTube Music version of podcast. So definitely, wherever you check out your podcast, check out the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast. Also, I am the co-host of the Glacially Musical podcast, and we did a special 4th of July vinyl trauma dump. Nick had been buying records, and he dropped like 13, 15 records. I did 3, and we talked about them. We unboxed them a little bit. We talked about how much they cost, where we bought them, motivations, why we buy things. Nick is a little more of the classy, smarter vinyl collector than I am. Certain pressings, what year's the best year, what sounds good versus what doesn't. I think he got one new vinyl of a record he already had, and the pressing he just got is better than the one he had. We're almost at 200 episodes of this, so pretty soon, we do one a week. Pretty soon, we'll be getting at the 200 mark on the Glacial Musical podcast. We've only got 60-something followers there. The podcast is on YouTube right now at Glacially Musical. Please give us a sub. And it should be hitting the podcast usually Friday, Saturday. But usually midnight Friday, the podcast goes up, as in beer, metal, and swearing. That's our tagline, but also pour, like we drink beer. Me, not so much anymore. Nick drinks craft beer, talks about his love of craft beers, and we do some beer education. We do some vinyl education. We do some vinyl, sort of a vinyl colonoscopy sometimes on things. We have an episode coming up soon where we're going to unbox and discuss the new Black Sabbath box set Anno Domini with Tony Martin and Tony Iommi. We both have it now, so we're going to do that. And we're starting a new series on some old school Metallica. So Ghost Cult has almost 5,000 subscribers. 1% of that is what Glacially Musical has. So anybody if you enjoy this, you might enjoy somebody giving me a hard time. Vegan Steven has commented. Thank you, Vegan Steven on X. That's right. Beer and vinyl. That's what we do. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah, we love the vinyl. Actually, behind me, you can't really see it here, but behind my office chair here is a big stack of stuff I need to file in my Discogs. I got sent a few records from some record labels and bands. I have some reviews I have to file, and then the box set is back there, and I'm going to crack it open, and we're going to jam it out. Can't wait. Yeah, I'm so stoked. I love Tony Martin. I really love Ian Gillan, but I'll be honest, like Tony Martin, they could have, if they had never gotten back with Ozzy and they just kept Tony, obviously they would never have been big again, as big as they were, or they never will be. They're big. Let's say Black Sabbath's first reunion with Ozzy in the 90s was bigger than they actually were most of the 70s, even though they were one of the greatest bands in terms of money and fame and doing arenas. I guess they did arenas in the mid to late 70s too. But yeah, like I love Tony Martin. What a great voice. Really a little bit more like Dio than Ozzy, but he was really pitch perfect. If you had to come in and follow Ozzy and Dio and Gillan and that one Born Again record that I do love, Tony Martin was brilliant. And I would love to hear some news. Apparently there's some stuff, some leftovers out there could get out eventually. So yeah, Glacial Musical Podcast, just a reminder about our affiliate partners. We are an affiliate of the Lambgoat Media Network, the Lambgoat Empire. We recently had a giveaway. Keep saying contest, a giveaway where we donated. I am going to talk about Hippotractor in a second, Scooter. I love that record. We gave away 5 pairs of VIP tickets to see Slayer's reunion at Riot Fest. That was through Lambgoat. We have a bunch of other giveaways and other things coming up. When you see ads on our website that help us make a little bit of money to keep the lights on and pay for hosting, all these things, the URL every year, all these things cost money. And so we're just trying, on one hand, I'm, vehemently not a corporate person, even though I put on a monkey suit and worked in corporate America. And on the other hand, you got to make money. It takes money to make money, and it takes money to keep the lights on and keep doing this. It's a passion project. It doesn't pay the bills, to be honest. So Lambgoat Media Network helps that. That's Lambgoat, Ghost Cult. This day, something fell. This day in metal, Metal Insider, New Metal Agenda, a few others coming on soon. And yeah. So Lambgoat Media, if you want to advertise your band, your label, your store to a metal audience, Lambgoat is a good option. And then Stickermule. Stickermule is your one-stop shop for die-cut stickers of all kinds for your band, your label, your brand. And we have an affiliate deal with them. So at the link in our description, if you sign up for Stickermule, your first order, you get $10 off. And our next order, we get $10 off. And it's always been a very good mutual relationship. So we appreciate them. And then before I get to the news, Hippotractor, man, I love all kinds. I love, to be a writer, to be a metal journalist. And I've been doing journalism. I played in bands for 20 years, and I've been writing since, professionally since, let's say, 2006, 2007. I worked for different websites, and I came to Ghost Cult after it launched in the fall of 2012. I joined at the end of the year, at the beginning of 2013, end of 2012. So I've been here for most of Ghost Cult's rise and existence, and I've been in charge for most of it, 95% of it, 90% of it. And hey, Curtis Dunlap is here, my dear friend, my BFF. What's up, brother? Thanks for being here on YouTube. Well, almost to 5,000 subs on YouTube. It's crazy. No, I want you to bring it up. You can always bring up stuff, Scooter. You're the best. Bring up everything. I didn't actually have a story on Hippotractor planned, but I want you to bring them up. Usually when I get to the new records at the end of the show, which who knows if you'll make it an hour from now, 40 minutes from now, if you'll still be awake. But yeah, when I talk about the new records out this week, I sometimes dip in things that I have been listening to, and I have been listening to that Hippotractor. So you're always good, Scooter. Be you and don't change. So here's the news rundown. And again, we start with the festivals. And this was announced today. This is Knotfest Brazil, again, taking place in Sao Paulo this October. Slipknot headlining both days and playing the 25th anniversary debut full album playthrough, and I think Iowa. Which seems crazy. I know that Clown gave an interview not too long ago where he was like, it's not just the 25th anniversary of the debut, but it's really that whole peak era of Slipknot, those first 3. Yeah, thank you. I'm thankful that I have Ghost Cult and the Ghost Cult family. So Slipknot, Saturday the 19th in Sao Paulo will be Slipknot, Mudvayne, Monomorph, Meshuggah, Dragon Force, Orbit Culture blowing up. Their next record's going to be huge. Chrysian, Local Boys, Eminence, and a few other bands. Not Eminence, but Eminence. There's a difference. It's an Eminence front. It's a put on. That's a bad pun. But anyway, Sunday, Bad Omens. That's their second announced show following their current hiatus, along with Mayhem Festival. Till Lindemann solo from Rammstein, Baby Metal, POD, Black Pantera, Word, and a bunch of other bands. So that is going on in Brazil. Big announcement. Anytime Knotfest farts, we have to pay attention because honestly, they move the needle for everybody else. They really and truly do. Bruce Moore, thank you for checking in. If you're still watching on Facebook, Bruce of Brutally Delicious, go check him out when you're done watching this show and check out the Brutally Delicious podcast or podcast. I have a podcast. He has a podcast. Bruce Moore, also the metal chef, also documentarian of metal and punk culture. Inferno Festival has announced their first bands for this coming 2025 festival, and I think this is pretty rad. Inferno Festival is going to be headlined by 1349, former Ghost Cult subjects of an interview. Blood Incantation, new album announced last week. Eternus, Seth, Abyssic, Spectral Wound, those guys are everywhere right now. And just Bethos, Sin, Violent Magic Orchestra, and many, many more to be announced. 4 days. The Inferno Metal Conference, which is a big draw for the music industry in Oslo. I would love to go to this. I have kind of a standing invite to come out there. Maybe me and Omar will come out there this spring. We'll see. I'm trying to get back to a new job and all kinds of stuff. So, good times. But yeah, Inferno Festival, we've covered it a lot, actually, at Ghost Cult, even though we don't have anyone based in Norway right this second, but we will probably cover it again. Also, Armstrong Metal Fest, we had told you last week they lost Decrepit Birth, had to drop out, unforeseen reasons. They were the co-headliner. And Abysmal Dawn is now the new co-headliner of Armstrong Metal Fest. That's coming up next weekend. Ghost Cult is a media partner. We will probably preview the fest or do some more talking about it in a little more depth next week on the show, but very excited for those folks. And shout out to Asher Media Relations, John Asher, who's a publicist in metal, and he is a partner of Ghost Cults when it comes to these festivals that we are media partnering up on. So here's the big story of the week. This has been wild to see unfold. Last weekend was Capulet Fest. Ghost Cult was going to cover it, and then our guy had some personal stuff come up. But as it stands, Capulet Fest was a mess. We had covered it in the past. It was Capulet Entertainment puts on shows in the Connecticut area, and we had interviewed the founder. They did a festival last year. It was successful. They expanded the festival greatly this year, and I was like, that's impressive. And we got on board and helped promote it, and we're going to go cover it, and it didn't happen, but the festival happened, but it happened like in the last days before the festival. There were bands starting to voice some displeasure and drop out. They lost about 20 bands, I think, 15 to 20 bands, and they moved the venue from the Thompson Motor Speedway in Southern Connecticut to Hartford, to the Webster, which is a great venue. I spent a lot of shows going there. They are also managed by Mass Concerts, who manages the Worcester Palladium, where I love and have been one of my home venues in my whole life and Ghost Cult's life. And Mike Fonseca Drums has been here. Aviation 80827 is here. Swoon a Circle. DJ the Juggalo Millennial. What's up to all of y'all? The Big Dog. I appreciate everybody that's passed through. Thank you for passing through. And looks like we're growing more and more people all over the web. But so Capulet Fest, they kind of shrunk down what they had. And then they didn't really a lot of people traveled in for this. There's some pretty impressive bands, especially August Burns Red and has, a big following, and a bunch of other bands that dropped out. Artists flew in from other places to just do this show with no other touring supporting it. And, a lot of people were upset, but they were striving to try to keep the festival going. I don't want to speculate what happened exactly because I don't have all the details. But now, the Attorney General of Connecticut is opened an investigation into fans decrying that they were defrauded. And I believe there's a no refund policy because it was technically an outdoor rain or shine event. And they did everything they could to make the event happen. They did put on 2 days of the event, and some fans did go, and I believe they did have a good time. But a lot of people ended up not going and losing out on accommodations and tickets and travel. So we'll see how this plays out. If you're interested, you can go check out the interview I did with Esteban Vega a year ago, where he talked about his history and booking and what it takes to book a festival and how long he worked at the first one. That actually, a lot of people have been searching for content on him and found our interview. So based on what I knew a year ago, I stand behind that interview where I thought he was doing a very good service for the community. It remains to be seen what has happened with this new developments in this second year. And, perhaps they won't come back. People were really mad. So they were like Firefest, this and that. Blue Ridge Rock Fest wasn't quite that, but I agree. It's not a good look last second to drastically alter a festival location and lineup of bands. Whether it could be helped or not, I don't know. moving that along. This is Bad Religion. Just a little bit more on that. We ran our review this week of No Values Festival, which was almost a month ago in Pomona, California, and we are still trying to determine what happened there. There was a really bad traffic situation around the fest. They did have like 50,000 people descend on the Pomona Fairplex right outside of LA. This is a shot by my partner and Ghost Cultist Omar Cordy, co-owner of Bad Religion. It's a great shot. They were incredible. Just on the music, it was like a 10 of 10. But based on some of the other experience, it wasn't that great. I'm not shitting on the festival. It was their first year, although the Fairplex has had Warped Tour many times and big concerts and festivals many times. And Golden Voice put on the festival, who puts on all the festivals in California, really the biggest ones. So they shouldn't really have had that big of a problem. But jury's out. We're hoping to find out soon. But if you want to see our review of that, you can check it out there. It'll be in the description. It's on our link tree. It's on our site. RPM Fest, just a reminder, RPM Fest got announced last week. The full lineup: Prong, Jamie Jostin, Misery Index, Castle Rat, Leather Lung, Deceased, Bongzilla, Mother Iron Horse, Belushi Speedball, Conforza, so many cool bands. Wrestling, Kaiju Big Battle, Pro Wrestling, Burlesque, Karaoke, Trivia, Metal Yoga, Drag Bingo, Games and Contests, Vendors. This is a camping, food trucks, craft beer, free camping, showers. Pretty nice. We were a sponsor of this last year. I don't know if we'll be a sponsor this year, but I fully endorse this festival. And we will definitely be covering it once again. Time for a little seltzer action. A little no liquid death today, but a little Polar Seltzer, man. I love that bear. Polar Seltzer from Worcester, Mass. Again. All right. Scene of Extreme is happening this weekend, and our own Chris Elliott is there, and he will be bringing us the sights and sounds and review of the weekend. He is having a time of his life. If you follow him, Sell Arts on social media. And there's still 2 more days of the fest left, and it's like 160 bands in 4 days. It's crazy. And I think he went to a grindcore festival right before that when he arrived in the country. He's a wild man. Just a reminder, Riot Fest is taking place. There'll be some new Riot Fest news coming soon. They're still to announce their late night show lineup. I went to Riot Fest personally last year. Ghost Cult has covered Riot Fest 4 or 5 times, and it was amazing each time. I went last year. It was easily one of the best run, most fun festivals I've ever been to, and it certainly treated the press like human beings, and I was grateful. Really grateful. Riot Fest will feature the comeback of Slayer and Fall Out Boy and Beck as other headliners, but also The Offspring, St. Vincent, Rob Zombie, Public Enemy, Sublime, who I just saw at that No Values Fest with Bradley Noel's son Jacob, incredible. Mastodon and Lamb of God, No Effects all 3 days with their own stage, doing their farewell shows. Basement, LS Dunes, Suicidal, The Hives, Poison the Well, Gwar, Clutch, Rival Sons, Health. Lineup is nuts. Just nuts. Also, just a reminder, Radar Festival is coming up soon. Ghost Cult will be covering that. Shout out to our own Charlie Hill. We'll be covering that in the UK. Incarceration Festival's coming right up soon. This looks baller. Another good Danny Wimmer festival. Reminder again about New England Metal and Hardcore Festival. We got some news coming up with them next week. The pre-show features God Forbid. I might try to come out for this. This is around my birthday, and I just might try to do it. Hey, Kristen Alyssa was here. Hi, Kristen. Good to see you. Always a fan. Crucial Fest, we've been bringing you their updates the last 3 weeks straight. Now the third and final day of Crucial Fest has been announced. So they announced the first 2 days, and Crucial Fest night 1 featured Mars Red Sky and Midwife and Howling Giant. Day 2 features Black Tusk, Frail Body, Horseburner, Sumnori, and Chrome Ghost. And now night 3, Jay Jail, former Ghost Cult interviewee, Jay Jail, the Otolith, former Ghost Cult interviewee, The Well, great band, State Faults, great band, just saw them. Aerial Ruin, amazing. We just interviewed Dylan from Bell Witch. There's a new Bell Witch Aerial Ruin collab coming up soon. This is all in Salt Lake City, where I just was, and it was lovely. And can't wait to go back. Just a reminder, Milwaukee Metalfest will have its third edition, May 15th to 18th, 2025. Its third comeback edition, curated and hosted by Jamie Josta of Hatebreed. And early bird tickets are on sale now. Definitely don't miss out. Dillinger Escape Plans. Dillinger Compound is here. Good to see you. Yeah, Dillinger Compound. So I don't think I shared it in the group yet, but I will. We shared our review finally of No Values Fest with exclusive photos. There will be some exclusive photos and review or recap stuff coming to Ghost Cult soon. Omar is traveling, but he shot all the shows. The band asked him to actually come out and shoot the shows. He went all 3 nights. So, which is a surprise. I'm much more of a fan than he is. Obviously I'm out here and he's in Brooklyn. He's in New York City at our HQ. And, I saw Dillinger and they were unbelievable. They were unfucking believable. And I'm glad they're going to do some more touring in it. They got some Europe stuff coming up. We might do them again in Europe. Chicago's on the table also. I know that show looks sick. And I'm super glad to see Carbomb and Dead Guy get out there. And my homie Earl Manine and Seven Sons is one of my favorite people ever alive. I've been following that dude's entire career. In and out of metal and metal adjacent stuff. I'm glad you got to go. And yeah, I have the No Values, my glowing No Values review, notwithstanding, the photos are bananas. They're actually the only photos that were taken on stage at No Values Fest from behind the band and side stage, because they pulled Omar out of the pit and asked him to come on and shoot. So, and he's friended up with Ben, so maybe there'll be an interview too, because Omar's been doing some more and more interviews. Seven Sons are great and great people. Just some of the best people ever. So, yep, very excited about that. And then, so that's every hardcore, the hardcore scene summed up in one picture. Beef. I like the beef part. I wish it wasn't, but it is what it is. Live music and beef. Hardcore. That's a good meme. All right, concert time. Let's blast through this. Metallica back tonight, already played basically in Europe tonight. We've been getting a lot of videos from them and a lot of content from them on this European tour. They've got a couple more weekends in Europe. They take a couple weeks off. Then they do 5 weeks in the USA, North America, Mexico, Canada, and then they're done for the year as far as I know. I haven't announced anything. 2 years ago, were they filmed? I will ask Omar. He's on a plane right now, actually flying out to California. But I'll ask him when he lands if he knows if they were videoed. I hope so. I would love to see that become, like, it would be a great piece of content, either to put it on Veeps or sell it as a Blu-ray. Certainly would make money, right? Like, Dillinger's diehard fans alone would make it profitable. And I think it's a curiosity for everybody that couldn't go see them. But yeah, it would be sick if it went on. I'm really becoming a fan of things like live stream concerts on Veeps. I know that the Ghost movie Right Here, Right Now had some additional content and behind the scenes stuff on Veeps. I recently watched the Frank Turner documentary series, 4 parts on Veeps. It was about $12 total. If you love Frank Turner, if you love any artist, you pay for what, access. So Metallica back at it. What else is going on in the world of touring? LimpBizkit kicks off their Loserville tour this week, and they dropped a new music video. If you hate AI in these videos, you will hate this LimpBizkit video. I thought it was pretty funny. Obviously, you couldn't make this video practically with makeup and stuff. It would cost thousands and millions. But it's a pretty fun video, especially if you like 80s nostalgia. Kind of looks like Miami Vice, Knight Rider, GTA. Like, it's fun. If nothing else, the song's not super great. What was the song? It was Turn It Up, Bitch, from their 2021 album Still Sucks. So they're still milking that album for content. And it's a song that kind of sounds reminiscent of the very early LimpBizkit raw $3 bill, y'all, LimpBizkit sound. There are 80 people watching this thing. It's crazy. Hi, Christopher Ball on Facebook. Hi, Bruce Moore, if you're still here. Vegan Steven. The LimpBizkit on tour this week. Also, this is wild. This just got announced. Last weekend was Hellfest. We were talking about that previously in some previous episodes. And one of the headliners was Queen of the Stone Age. Queens of the Stone Age announced at their press conference at Hellfest that they are going to play the Catacombs in Paris. Catacombs is the legendary cave of skulls underneath Paris. And Queens of the Stone Age is going to be the first band given permission to perform down there and maybe make some kind of live concert. Again, Veeps or a Blu-ray, they want to do something special. He's like, you can still see us play. We're playing all over the world. I think that's just badass. Metal Injection Fest. Yep, Pallid Veil with Liam. Yep, that's a great band. I love Luke LeMay and Dave Davidson. That's a killer band. I'm excited to see them. I'm not sure if we're going to Metal Injection Festival. Nothing against them. I'm proud of them for having a festival in their 20th year. I think I'm going to be out of town that weekend. I might be on the East Coast, but I'm not going to be in New York. So I think it's the same time as New England Metal and Hardcore Fest, which we mentioned a few minutes ago. So that does sound cool. Liam's the shit on just ridiculous. But Queens of the Stone Age playing in the Catacombs is just it's on my bucket list. I love to go to France. I don't care that much about Paris so much anymore, but I would love to go to the Catacombs would be like a major draw for me to go to Paris. This got announced this week. Black Dahlia Murder getting ready to do their first post-Trevor album. Servitude has announced a co-headline tour with Dying Fetus. Two very evenly matched great bands. Spite and some other bands are going to be opening. This kicks off in the fall, in October, in Cleveland, and will end in Chicago with stops along the way in Milwaukee, Salt Lake City, Seattle, Vancouver, Portland, Berkeley. I'll probably go to that show mid-October. Santa Cruz, I could go to that one also. Berkeley's closer to me than Santa Cruz unless I get a ride. LA, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, Tampa, Atlanta, Charlotte, Silver Spring, Maryland, Philly, Worcester, Baltimore, New York, Montreal, Detroit, Rock City. Yeah, it looks crazy, right? That is, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a pretty big super group. And I think that Pallid Veil, that might be their first show. Is that right, Dillinger Compound? That's their very first show ever, is at that fest. And I think it would be hard for that band to tour a lot with all those guys from different bands. But, yeah. You can only imagine what insanity Dave Davidson and Luke LeMay would write together, right? Slash, just a reminder, is doing a live stream concert this Sunday. If you love the blues and you love Slash recently put out a blues covers album with guest stars, and he's doing a live stream this Sunday. So Slash fans, take note. Earn is in the midst of their off and on touring for summer. They just played Hellfest. Earn has one of the best metal albums right now. They're going to play a few more dates this summer and then write their next album. So very excited for them. They are the proteges of Joe Duplantier from Gojira. And I'm a big Earn fan. Domcraft or Doomcraft has announced some tour dates. They are playing the Desert Fest New York and finally coming to North America. Again, it's been a minute. Love them. Very consistent band. So Cambridge, Mass, Queens for Desert Fest, Raleigh, Asheville, Atlanta, Birmingham, New Orleans, Austin, Dallas, Atlanta, and Birmingham. That always reminds me of Red Dragon from the Silence of the Lambs universe, Murderverse, whatever. You're here to ask me about Atlanta and Birmingham and the families and what he does with them. This is really sad. Ann Wilson of Heart had a surgery recently. Earn sounds like a sludge metal Gojira scooter. Boss Keloid. Monolord with a little less doom, a little more thrash. Conan. But also like a little progressive metal, but a lot of thrash and sludge. Just kind of whatever. I interviewed Iron Monkey recently, and I had asked Iron Monkey about like the current wave of UK bands. And Earn was kind of before this current wave of UK death metal and sludge bands. But I love Earn. And Joe produced their records, and he's a guest on their records. So Ann Wilson of Heart is battling cancer. She had a surgery that revealed some cancer. They removed it. She needs all of this year to recover. She expects to recover. Heart had already canceled their European summer tour, and now they've canceled all their tour dates for the foreseeable future. She does expect to make a full recovery, and she did end her. She sent a message to fans, and she did say that this is a pause, not an end. So that was I thought that was positive. Like, she was trying to leave fans with a positive, a positive note. Conan should play the Catacombs. That's correct. If Queens of the Stone Age was smart, they would get Conan to open for them for that show. But yeah, Ann Wilson. So we're talking about their tour was canceled. Just made it in the Rock Hall. Ann Wilson's a treasure, one of the greatest singers ever. And we don't want to lose her. So again, fuck cancer. Once again, fuck cancer. Sleep Makes Waves has announced their Australian tour with Light and Rollo Tomasi. Rollo Tomasi was kind of hinting at this for a little while, that they were going to go on tour some more. They put out an excellent band. Oh, I lost one of my lights. Oh well. I think that one is getting long in the tooth, that guy. Deicide and Chrysian are teaming up for a tour. This looks crazy. Deicide's new album, Banished by Sin. You can see our recent interview with Glenn Benton, Chrysian, and Inferi and Cloak. Cloak is sick. They're on tour right now in Europe, or about to go to Europe for a tour. Deicide, what a great lineup that is. It's one of the better extreme metal tours of the year. And here is another one. Mortis, the Dungeon Synth King and black metal legend. Mortis has announced additional U.S. tour dates to go with the rest of their tour dates all over the world. Brighter Death Now tour, and that is coming up in September. We'll see if I get to go. I don't know if they're coming out west that much. Oh, they are. I see Denver. I see Eugene, Washington. That's San Francisco. I don't know if I'm here at that week, though. I might be gone. That sucks. But all right, we'll try to cover that tour. Mortis is an interesting fellow. I've interviewed Mortis before. How was your weekend? We're heading into the weekend, everybody. It's about to be the weekend. Desolation Metal. Hello. Right. Sun would be great. I've actually photographed them and seen them several times. And like I said, I saw them once come out in white robes instead of the brown Jedi robes. They were all white one time. And it was just, it was trippy. It was trippy. Sun is great. I'd love to see them again. I don't think I would like to photograph them again, but I would like to see them again. I was choking on fumes from the fog machine for a whole night. All right. That's all the concert and tours. We're at the hour mark. We're going to blast through the rest of this news. This is pretty crazy. So here's the thing. I don't own this photo, but record companies don't like each other. The major record companies are basically like any corporations against enemies. They're enemies. Hatfields and McCoys. They don't like each other. They do things all the time to subvert each other, so one of them gets an advantage over another. The three biggest record labels in the world, right? The three biggest record labels in the whole world are teaming up to sue the biggest two AI companies. This is not a small deal. This is a big deal. Sony, Universal, and Warner are the three biggest record labels in the world, and they are joining forces to sue the two biggest AI companies that do AI versions of music. And I don't know how you feel about AI. AI is already part of our life. It's part of our way of life. It has been for a while. I don't think there's necessarily a reason to trip out and fear it. I don't want, I love Rogue One. I was using this analogy on the podcast yesterday. I love Rogue One, and I miss Carrie Fisher, but I don't want to see Carrie Fisher showing up in a bunch of future Star Wars movies by using her likeness and voice. I want you to leave Carrie Fisher alone and make new stories. If an artist I love passes away, I don't want an AI version of them making a whole record. The reason these record labels are suing the AI companies is not because they can infringe on their property now. It's because they want to infringe on their property themselves later, which is shitty. But it's just very interesting to see these three forces that normally work against each other, pulling their resources. Tell me what you think about AI in music. Does AI have a place in these music videos? People are angry about AI artwork for Deicide and other bands that have used AI artwork already this year. Is noticeable. It's definitely noticeable. It's certainly cheaper. I don't know. I don't know what it means. These companies are none of these companies are really honorable, but technology is part of life. If we didn't ever learn how to make fire, we'd still be in caves writing pictures on the wall in our shit. So you can't fear it, but I don't want it necessarily. I don't think AI, I ever want like an AI. It's just a curiosity right now. I don't think I want AI replacing, nor do I think it could replace humans. But, we'll see. It's just very interesting that these companies are suing. And then another major story in the last couple of weeks was that Paramount Entertainment shut down all the websites of MTV and TV Land and Comedy Central and Country Music Television and all these things. And then it was announced that the Wayback Machine Archive has found like 500,000 articles from MTV.com that actually were saved and backed up and still exist, but it still kind of sucks. I don't understand. Like, if you're going to cut the budget, is this where you need to cut the budget on server space? If you're Paramount, how about less shitty shows that don't make any revenue? But if you're missing MTV and Headbangers Ball and all these things, some of these articles and some of the programming may still be alive on the web somewhere. Spooky Empire is a festival Ghost Cult has participated in. This is a horror convention with music and tattooists and everything. We were panelists one year there. They are now expanded to 3 Spooky Empires a year. I believe Tampa, Orlando, and then now Tampa, Orlando, Atlanta, and I believe this is North Charleston, South Carolina. And so Joey Belladonna has been announced as one of the first guests for the late summer Spooky Empire. If you love horror in general, or tattoos, or metal, or whatever they have there, I had a great time. I would highly recommend it to anybody that loves this stuff. Bif Naked, been a long time. New Bif Naked single and upcoming new album. Pretty killer. We got to hear it. We premiered a song here on our site. Well, not premiered it, but we shared it, and very excited for the Canadian punk and alternative rock artist. Also, Bif Naked, why aren't you aging correctly? Why are you aging in reverse? Like, not changed physically at all in 20-something years as an artist. Here's Swallow the Sun, the great Finnish death doom band, melodic doom band. They have a new record coming out. They dropped a new single. Very excited about this band. Here's a picture of me minus this beard with just a little goatee. This is in 2018 at the old Last Rites Gallery with the great Paul Booth. Paul Booth is the legendary tattooist. He specializes in the Giger alien artwork stuff, but he's done tattoos for everybody from Kerry King to Phil Anselmo and Danny Filth and many others. Paul is also a musician, and now he's released his very first book, Mortal Skin, which is out now. And Paul is a multi-talented artist. He did lose the Last Rites Gallery during the pandemic because he couldn't keep it open. But I did love meeting Paul. Would love to interview him again someday. I'm looking forward to reading this book. We got some book news coming up soon. I'm a little behind on my book reviews, but many book reviews coming to the site soon. Super7, right up the block from me, basically within 10 blocks of my house, one of their headquarters shops, Super7 Toys. They grew up loving games and toys and monsters and robots and mutants and all the things, and they remember, so you can play with those toys today. And they do a series of reaction figures. People have seen me unbox the many that I have here at the house, and now they've released a new line of figures based on Danzig, the Misfits, and Samhain. This is actually pretty funny if you can zoom in and see this. Danzig, probably based on Danzig 1, 1988 Danzig. Pretty goofy, but fun. Here's Jerry Only. There's also Devilock Fiend, but basically Danzig from the Misfits. Also, another Misfits themed classic Misfits Fiend one, and yet another. So pretty cool. Kerry King continues his video series on part 2 and 3 of his video series on his new album From Hell I Rise, which we reviewed and I like quite a lot. This is a clip of Converge. Converge is in the studio in God City Studios in Salem, Massachusetts, where I once lived. Kurt Ballou used to see him at the coffee shop and the laundromat. It's his studio. He shared this clip on social media. The band is recording their next album, highly anticipated new album from Converge. I would believe will be out in 2025 if they're recording it now. I saw them late last year. They were pretty amazing. Also, here's Excel, the classic crossover thrash band from Venice, California. They were in the same set as No Mercy and Suicidal Tendencies and so many killer bands who did thrash metal right. And their Lost album is coming out on Southern Lord. I just had this pulled up. Hold on. I hate the clackety clack, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, son. Excel's long lost album Seeking Refuge is coming out really soon, July 19th on Southern Lord. I may have to get this. They've been kind of back playing shows off and on. I would love to see them, show up their new music video for the song Unenslaved, features pioneering skating star Tony Alva at the Gonzo Pools. If you know, from the movie Thrasher, the iconic skate film. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I heard the track today, and they got this all fixed for the reissue, all fixed up, correct logo, and they're writing a new album to come out in 2025. So I think that's really exciting, which means there'll be some touring. And yeah, great band, absolutely great band, absolutely great band. Adam Siegel was originally the co-founder of he was in Suicidal. I think he was briefly in Infectious Grooves, and he just hasn't been able to tour with them. He's got a family, but I hope Excel puts out a new record and is able to tour behind it. That'd be fucking rad, because I do love that band. Just a reminder, No Sleep Records is going dark. The great hardcore and alternative rock label is shutting its doors. They're having a farewell sale. I did manage to pick up some stuff from their farewell sale, which will show up here soon. We'll do a end of show mailbag segment on it. Great label, Touche Amore, State Faults, Early Graves, many great bands. Sad to see them go, but in this climate, I understand why small labels have a hard time surviving. And then just in case you have watched it, I binge watched season 3 of The Bear. And critics are mixed on it. I love the show. I actually went to Mr. Beef, the original Mr. Beef in Chicago, for a wet dipped beef sandwich. And it was incredible experience. And one of the guys from the restaurant that runs the restaurant is actually in the show this season as an extra. And it's got great music. It's got a lot of great rock and punk in the soundtrack, including some Beastie Boys and some Refused, and some bunch of other stuff. So I was just wondering if you watched the show, if you picked up on some of those musical cues that are pretty badass. Not as much Chicago music. Hey, Kristen, how are you doing? I hope you're well. I hope you had a good holiday. I hope everything is turning around with that family situation you were posting about. I wish you the best. We're just wrapping up the show here with the last few bits and bobs. We're just talking about The Bear season 3. I could not unplug myself. Oh, that's great, Chris. Thank you so much. I'm glad to know it. And I'm rooting for you, pal. I just obsessively watched the whole season in like 2 days. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And it has great music. And I love Jeremy Allen White. He's also going to be Bruce Springsteen in an upcoming Bruce Springsteen movie. And he said he's going to try to sing, which he's never done before, but he's going to try to sing like the boss. I could see it if he darkens his hair. He might be able to pull off like a young Bruce. We shall see. But The Bear is incredible. And makes me want to go to eat fancy dinners, but I don't have a lot of money for that. Just take a look at me now. Take a look at me meow. I'm going to you saw the Fall Guy recently, I had that Against All Odds in it. I think I'm going to sing Against All Odds in hey, Mr. Nostalgia Vinyl, I am great. I hope you're doing well too. Thank you so much on Instagram. I might have to do Against All Odds at karaoke on Monday at the bar at the end of my street. And then just really quick, let's run down. Even July 5th is not a quiet day for New Music Friday. So we had a bunch of stuff go live on the site this week. There was 2 tons of records out. And again, we had a request a couple of weeks ago that was like, can you bake in the genre into these videos? And I was like, I don't think we can add the genres, but maybe, just maybe, we can add some of the we can add, like, when I do it here and now, when I do this rundown now, I can maybe curate a little bit and tell you who's what. So Achilles, House of the Black Terminus is some black metal industrial music. Blind Girls Emo Punk out on Persistent Vision Records. Blood Cross Gravebound Finnish heavy metal. That's out this week. Honeyjoy Everything Sucks Music is the label. Alternative indie rock. Malconfort, experimental black metal from the Great Transcending Obscurity label. Medusas is actually a record that came out a few years ago, but it had a vinyl reissue this week, and I think that's going to help people really appreciate and understand that band better. Sort of extreme death doom, sludge doom band on Sentient Ruin. Pia Mater, Under the Shadow of a Foreign Sun on Code 66 Records. Always some crazy Brazilian black and jazz, death jazz. Volvodina, probably the record most people are talking about this week. And Tabeni on Unique Leader Records, slamming deathcore and beatdown music. And Zester, who I've interviewed before and we've hung out with and seen many times live, and I have many Zester albums. Disharmonic variations for your neo-folk black metal acid, introspective black metal. Let's see some other records that came out this week just for shiggles. Of course, I don't have it handy. I normally do. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I missed anything else important that also came out this week. I was talking about 14 years ago today, I saw Faith No More on their reunion, one of their first ever reunion shows for the Sol Invictus record and the sort of the comeback of that band. So I'm forever grateful that I got to go to that show with Curtis Dunlap at the Waterfront in Brooklyn. It was incredible. They played Sir Duke a little bit in the middle of Midlife Crisis, and I lost my little mind. Let's see. Duel, Breakfast with Death, great stoner, boogie, heavy metal band, rock. Filthy Hippies from South Africa, Share the Pill on Mongol Records. Horned Almighty on Soul Cellar Records. Kiss and Dynamite on Napalm Records. Back with a Bang, some heavy metal. Octoploid is an interesting band. That's a sort of side project from Amorphous, the Beyond the Aeons. The Order of Fear, Orden Ogan. That's on Raining Phoenix Music, big power metal band. I think Satan Satyrs actually moved to the end of the summer. That is officially confirmed. Thunder Horse, Dead Alive in Texas, live stoner doom band. Visions of Atlantis, if you like your pirate metal, they have a new album out this week. And Wormed on Season of Mist. Basically anything Season of Mist puts out, it's usually pretty great. That's all the new music out this week. And now it's time for the mailbag. We're almost done with the show, folks. Thank you for hanging in here. It's a bit of a long one. I'm just catching up on some stuff this week. I had like the extra time to write the script, so unfortunately extra stories get sucked in. This came out this week, Desolation by Mark Morton. This is the debut memoir of Mark Morton, A Lamb of God. It's the second book by anybody in the band. Obviously, Randy D. Randall Bly has his memoir, and he's working on a new book of photography right now. But this got sent to me. I'm really excited to open this bad boy up and read it. It's got 2 quotes on the back cover, one by Corey Taylor, one by Randy. I love this quote from Corey, though. I've known Mark for over 20 years. We shared stages and shed blood together. I've seen him through his best and his worst. And yet, this book showed me even more about my friend than I even thought I knew. I can't wait for people to experience it in the way that I did. Corey Taylor. Also, a New York Times best-selling author, Corey Taylor, of many books, actually. I'm not going to read the Randy quote because it's rather lengthy. And I think the forward is also by Randy. And, they've walked many miles together, so who would know him better than his friend? A gritty, revealing heavy metal memoir by Lamb of God's guitarist and lyricist, exploring both his life in music and his tumultuous path through addiction and into recovery. Mark is sober. And I've interviewed Mark, and he's lovely. And I can't wait to read this, and we'll see a review coming soon to Ghost Cult. And then not quite with the graphic here, but I just wanted to share, I love these fun little zines that I pick up sometimes. This is the wine store zine, Blood of Gods. I literally get this at the vegan market at the corner of my street. And it's got interviews with bands, and it's got metal artwork by artists like Mark Rudolph, who does artwork for Decibel. And it's got like all kinds of cool. It's just very, very cool. They're having a festival Saturday, July 20th, and an after party concert. The annual Blood of God's annual merrymaking event. And they're having record labels there and vendors and all kinds of things. And there's an after party with Eris, sponsored by a bunch of punk and metal labels, as well as some fun underground brands. So this is really fun. Blood of God, you can pick this up wherever you buy fancy foods and wine. There's an interview in here with Three Teeth, who I love. Alexis, we're overdue for an interview with you. There's wine reviews. There's interviews with bands. This is cool. Wine and horror name generator. Let's do a game. So let's see. First name K for me, Keefy. Cursed. Last wine you drank. What is the last wine I drank? Was probably a Merlot. So Cursed, Merlot, and last name Cursed Merlot Funeral. That is my wine horror generator answer. And again, a lot of people have been just like already like July 5th, it's Halloween time. So maybe there's also some fun Halloween things. Oh, actually, this cover is like a whole image here. Look at that. I don't know if you can appreciate this. TikTok, Instagram, and camera folks. No, not going to focus well. All right. Anyway, I like zines, and I like fun things, and I like subverting expectations, and I like having a good time. So that's our show. It is somewhat unmanageable hour and 20 minutes. But thank you. If you're still watching, thank you. Thanks for hanging out with me for another bit of your life. Your time is valuable. So is mine, but your time is precious, and I appreciate you spending some time with us. If you managed to make it this far, you are a real one. If you showed up again every week like you all do, Stephanie Montoya, Dillinger Compound, Scooter, Blackie Chan, 888, all of y'all, Kristen, you are the real ones. You are the everydayers. You are my heart. You have my heart. And of course, my best friend, Curtis Dunlap, a ghost cultist from the beginning with me. Thanks for being here, as we say every week at this juncture of the show. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay as metal as humanly possible. Have a safe and great weekend. We'll do it all over again next week, probably on Thursday. I'm going to dance a jig on the way out, as usual.